Hey everyone, welcome back. Here I am. I am back for a sneaking in of a video. I am currently right now still not in my normal place. I believe that hopefully that I will be able to come back here very soon. Things are wrapping up pretty nicely in my issues that I'm dealing with my family. We have been working through a lot of issues where I've been trying to help them just kind of look at the situation, look at things differently, and believe it or not, the cards come into play when they ask me to read and see how do we deal with a situation. So I'm still not in my normal place. So I don't have good lighting because I have no lighting on. I'm kind of just setting up so that I can do a quick video for you guys. My goodness, so much has happened just in the few weeks that I've been gone. It really feels like a completely different landscape politically than what I ended up where I ended the last time. I just did, hey, the elections were over. Here's where we kind of stand with the elections, and this is what the Democrats are dealing with. This is what the Republicans are dealing with, and we are still moving forward. But then, of course, we had some major developments with the Mueller investigation, with Manafort and Cohen. And the reason why there's so much to read on, there's just so many things I want to talk about, but I just don't have enough time. And I'm really hoping that eventually I will come back and I will be able to read more often on the things that are going on and just see how they're going. But what I wanted to focus on was I really, after watching and just reading the news and sitting there thinking, gosh, I would just love to pull out my cards and see what the situation is. I noticed that, Paul Manafort is, obviously there's recommendation. He's broken his plea agreement and the law books are going to be literally thrown at him, and it's going to probably hit him and he's going to hit the wall, and it's going to be pretty bad. Michael Cohen, he pleaded guilty again, and he has entered an agreement of some sort. And he is basically what I would consider on a redemption path, but he knows, even though the prosecutors were saying they should give maximum sentence. There's so much involved in all of that. There's so much information that I would love to get deeper into all of that. There's just a lot. But the thing that got me, and the reason why I wanted to probably do just a spot check reading on both of them, is because probably like 4 months ago, when Manafort was found guilty, or he entered the plea deal, and then when Cohen pleaded guilty and entered his deal, I did readings on them, and it was a while ago. I would have to put the links down into the description box so that you could see it. If they're not there right away, it's probably because I'm uploading this from not my computer. Anyways, so I wanted to do a spot check because those readings were really interesting, because Cohen, his cards were reading about the relationship between him and Trump, and then how it kind of all was falling apart, and how he's kind of gotten some inner reflection and self-reflection, and he's getting some assistance from the prosecutors and all that stuff. And I think that he is on this redemption path, but I don't know where it's going to go, because, he knows that, they're like, throw the book at him too, which he is very aware that he has to pay for the crimes that he did. So we'll see where this redemption path is heading for him. With Paul Manafort, this guy, on my last reading, I literally was not seeing any sort of inner reflection. It was pretty much like yeah, they caught me. But, he just wouldn't learn. He just didn't learn his lessons, and he kept doing the same mistakes over and over. And here we are. He's broken his plea deal, and he's going to be sentenced and all that stuff. So what I wanted to do was just to kind of, hopefully I will get back into things more and more. I'm waiting to, once the family situation resolves, I can come back and do this more, because you know what? I really love doing this. Anyways, before I get into those readings, I did notice a couple things on my channel while I've been kind of away. I've noticed that my, if any of you have looked at my channel and you can see the beginnings of my channel, you can see it's kind of going through an evolution process. But I had a bunch of decks that I was doing deck reviews on and just sharing the decks, okay? I only showed a small fraction of what I have. And I notice they're getting more and more views and people are asking and talking about them. I would love to be able to do deck reviews again. So I really would hope that, you guys would be okay with me doing deck reviews, because I got a lot of different decks I would love to share. I have a lot of them. Some of the decks are over 20 years old. Some of them are, obviously brand new, just released. And I would love to be able to share them. So if you guys are up for it, I will do that. I will bring some of the reviews back so that you can see all the different decks, and the artwork is just so beautiful. It's so hard to not have just one. So anyways, so I would love to be able to do that again. And I really appreciate everybody's comments and everybody's time and all that stuff, and your patience. It's very important. So I would love to be able to do that. I've also got a few requests about, maybe starting to try to do some personal readings. I would love to be able to do personal readings with you guys. I have a very specific style, and I must figure out a way that I can convey that style that is comfortable for me and comfortable for you. To me, reading tarot is a very interactive, process. It's like you ask questions and we're trying to work through your issues. I mean, I'm not a person I'm not like a fortune teller. I work through energy. I see energy and I move through the energies. And we look to identify things that are going well and things that are not going so well. And then we work to see ways that we can adjust yourself or make some changes so that your path can change forward to a direction that you want. Basically, my job is to empower you. So I'm trying to work through all that. See, that's been kind of put on the back burner a little bit, but it is still on my mind. So bear with me. We'll just see how it all goes, because you know what? Just trust. Everything will be okay. Everything will work forward. Anyways, so here we go. Let's do some spot checks. I'm hoping to make this pretty quick. I'm going to start with one. And I apologize for the lighting again. Let's start with Cohen. Let me see how he's doing. Let's do a spot check on him and see, because now that has his plea, he pled guilty to more that actually implicates that, some pretty serious wrongdoings has happened in regards to the president. And of course, Trump is kind of panicking with his Trump tweet storms, and I would love to be able to do a reading on him, but I'm not going to, and I'm staying out of his energy on purpose because I've got other fish to fry right now, and I really don't want to jump into his energy. So let us go into Cohen. Let us see how he's doing. Let's do a spot check on Cohen and his legal situation. Where is it leading him? Is he on a redemption course? Where is he going, right? All right, let's see. Focus. All right, Michael Cohen, what is going on with you? Where does things look like it's heading with you? Okay. All right. We'll make do with the lighting that I have. All right. So here we go. We're just going to do a basic cross. We're going to see where it's heading, where it is, where it stands, and where he's headed. All right. So there is a lot of things placed in motion. So he has already, this card would also indicate that he's made a decision. So he's made decisions and he's put them in motion, and now he's just waiting for all the results. I'm not positive if sentencing has happened. They just entered the recommendations. He's going to have to be sentenced. So now he's waiting for the results. So has his complete flip and turnaround going to assist him, or is it going to hinder him? He's just put it in motion and he's waiting for the return. He's waiting to see how things are going to play out for him, right? So my just thought when I see it, it's like the recommendation for him, I really kind of think that he was warned that they were going to ask for it, and I think there's a reason behind it. It really is about, because he's the closest out of all of them to Trump, because he was his personal attorney and he was involved in so many things. Now he's implicating that, hey, we did some pretty bad stuff. And also, his defiance and stuff before he had, that awakening moment for him. So he's now really giving it a shot. He's giving it a shot and seeing where it's going to take him. Okay. So what's crosses? So there is active energy. Okay. So the knights are charging. The knights are charging and the active energy is happening. So he is waiting. There's no stalling on it. It's going. It's in motion. It's that new burst of energy that's coming forward. There's new things. There's a lot of new things going on. Okay. So there's new adventures, some new courses being had. So, and what he's put out is now in motion, right? So there's literally no stopping it. It's almost in this feeling is almost like the eight of wands where everything is just going. So the energy is charging. So he has placed things in motion, and obviously placing those things in motion has Trump responding pretty negatively. And so something is going on and they know what's going on. All right. So we got the past. So in the past, it's just hanging on to what he has, right? So what he's doing, so this lighting is kind of rough. So it's hanging on to what he's had in the past. It's just hanging on. I mean, he literally, how far in the past this goes, it's, this could literally be him just hanging on to his dignity. There's just that little bit left because, he's been raided, his office, his whole life has just been placed in shambles. So now it's literally like just hanging on to what's left of his dignity, right? So, all right. So beneath him is heartache, okay? This is a tough one. He is heartbroken. You know what? You can be heartbroken. If you've done things that you thought were good, that you were going to be protected, you were going to be taken care of, you were supposed to be this, you were part of that family, the Trump family, you were supposed to be important, and you know what? And they never came to you when you got in trouble. They never came to your defense. They just vanished. They just left him high and dry. They didn't even bring him into the fold. They left him on the outside. He was this complete, he was devoted to the Trump family, devoted to all of what they stood for at that time, because you know what? He was in this really unhealthy relationship with Trump. And when it all went down and he just pretended that he didn't know him, that's heartbreaking, and you get heartbroken. But then you have to do some self-reflection, which showed up in his last spread, that last reading I've done for him, and it really had him reflect, and that's painful. It's painful to come to realizations that you have caused harm, you have hurt people, you've broken the law, and you did it all for this man who don't give a care about you, right? So there's a lot of heartbreak underneath him. So his future, the King of Wands. Who is this? Somebody in his future, it's a King of Wands. So somebody is guiding him through this whole process. And this King of Wands is a person that is probably optimistic. He understands. He is giving him guidance in order to help him take step by step by step to help him get him through this situation. He's already in a plea bargain. So there's a man. I don't know if it's his attorneys, but there is somebody that's of influence to him that's in the future that will assist him on moving forward and getting his footing and stuff like that. Okay. Now, it is possible, depending on how the outcome card reads, is this could be him finally coming into a king energy as well. So we'll have to see how his outcome comes. But right now, there's either a man that's helping him in the future to help him get him back on his feet, or he finally reaches that control that's, the king, the just, the fair king, because these guys are very active energy of, okay, I got things under control. Let's move. Let's go. Okay. But I kind of feel like it's a guy, but we'll see. Above him, oh, there's Trump. All right. So above him, so on his mind is Trump, right? This is also the wish card. So maybe I would probably also apply this to, there is a wish and a hope that things will be okay for him. That even though he's going through the penance and having to deal with the, consequences of his own past actions, he is trying to make changes. He's on this redemption trail and to fix himself. So this could be the wish card, but it could also be that this is the crowning thought of all of the situation that is going through. It is Trump, right? Which I would probably say, I would probably apply both, definitions of this card to Michael Cohen. So how he sees himself now, things are in motion. Anything, and I think that's this card. That's where he is, where he placed things in motion. I did mention the Eight of Wands. He's placed things on motion. Now they're just in motion. It is out of, it's out of his hands. It's in motion. All the energy is moving forward. He sees him as the catalyst to thrusting things forward, to maybe bringing a close or getting everybody one step closer to the results that are needed, right? He knows that Trump is telling everybody that he's a liar and he's, no good and stuff. But, he says, I think the thing is that he has more trust in the prosecutors and his own lawyers than he does in Trump. So everything's in motion. He knows he's the catalyst that threw it all in motion. Okay. So let us look at the environment for him. So he's got to stand his ground. Okay. So the environment that he sits in is this standing your ground, defending your position. I think the thing is that he's got to stand his ground and defend his position, that he's been cooperative and he's definitely turned the corner. He's made things go. He's defending his position. But the environment also has it as, Trump is out there defending his position, even though the court papers implicated him in the filing. And it was pretty darn clear when it says, and this, subject number one or individual number one is, later on became the president of the United States. You kind of know who the individual is, but they're also defending their position and standing their ground. So everybody is defending themselves right now. It's a very crazy environment to be in, right? All right, so we have the hopes and the fears. Oh, the hopes is in getting a new chance, getting a new opportunity, gaining something new. It's getting new opportunities, starting new, starting fresh. So for Michael Cohen, because this is his reading, his hope is to start something new. But, if you want to look at it a fear, he's fearing this club that's going to clobber him on the head. So his hopes and fears. He is hoping for something new. He's hoping that all of this is going to lead him on a new trajectory, a new path, a new place forward. So, all right. What is his outcome? So he's going to experience disappointment and loss. Now, this, I am going to tell you, would be the harsh sentence that's coming up, right? I think the judge will probably take the recommendation of the prosecutor's office. I mean, I know he was hoping to get off with no jail time, but I mean, even in the plea bargain that he did, I think before when he did the whole guilty thing for the federal stuff, he's going to have to serve that time. He knows it. He's disappointed. Not only is he disappointed in himself, there's a lot of disappointment all around. It's like, so I do think he's going to be sentenced. I think he will get it, but I don't think that his legal woes will be completely over. I think that we're only talking about federal situations. He still has a whole state situation. And I know that he's pled guilty on some of that as well. So, or maybe the plea deals for that. I don't know. There's two different things. There's the federal probe and then there's the state probe. So regardless, he's going to feel disappointed. So, but he knew that was coming. So I think that he's prepared for it, but he knows he's not going to escape the law. He's not going to get the leniency. So, So, but he's got the world, okay? The world is a completion. It is a completion of his cycle. So even though he's going to feel disappointed and he's going to have this whole disappointment, he's going to have to deal with, you know, the consequences of all of his actions, the consequences, he is going to have a completion. It's going to complete that cycle of his life, will be over with, and he will be able to move forward. All right. That was interesting. I think I heard some people somewhere that someone said, you know, look, he's moving on a redemption level that might actually, you know, paint him a hero, because he's going to be able to bring someone down that that seemed almost untouchable. But I wouldn't exactly call him a hero. I would just think that the guy has grown a conscience and he is looking for a new start, a new beginning. So I think he's definitely working towards that. I'm not going to excuse his behavior, but I personally think that in the grand scheme of things for him, even after he serves his time for the wrongs that he's done, I think he does deserve a new start, because he's one of the few people that I believe has actually reflected enough that he's like, you know what, family is more important than life of crime, right? All right. So he's got the battle. All right. So he's going to have some decisions, some really, really big decisions. And so even though we're in a completion, he's going to have to fight for his own reputation. He's going to have to fight to rebuild it, to break free from all of this stuff. He's going to have to fight. He's going to have to determine what, you know, battles he's going to fight. He's going to have to learn to turn a sword down to listen, and he's going to have to learn to leave the past behind. So if you're looking at this, because you know what, and he's going to have to learn that, you know, people are probably going to turn their backs to him because of what he's done. Even though we believe as a society that people deserve second chances are actually kind of hard to come by, because we tend to judge harshly. So when he does his time, because the completion card's here, you know, this is the harsh sentencing. When he does his time, he will have to start over again, and he is going to have to deal with all of this, right? He's going to have to deal with people turning their backs on him, and he's going to have to fight for what he wants, and fight to, you know, show that he is not the same person that he was when he was defending Trump. And like I said, he's going to have to learn to put a sword down and listen, which I think it's going on right now. And he's learning to drop the past and leave the past behind. So anyways, so now that I've done Cohen's, my personal opinion, there is somebody helping him. This is not him. This is not him. This would be a person who's going to come in. He's going to have his act together, and he's going to help assist him through this entire situation. If, you know, because this is the future. There is a completion, so this guy is going to give him sound knowledge, sound advice, sound things to help him move forward and to move past Trump, right? To move past it, because he is the crowning, and he is the center of all of this. So will Michael Cohen redeem himself? Well, I think that his personal situation, he is doing it from a soul level. He's doing redemption, but in the society's level, he's going to have to fight for it. He's going to have to fight for his redemption. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do a Manafort one. So I'm going to actually change decks too. We'll see how that goes, because he's got a much more fighting energy. He's, you know, fiery, but I don't know if he just hasn't learned his lesson. But we'll see how we'll see how it all turns out. So I hope you enjoyed this. I will talk to you soon as I can. So thank you for being patient with me. I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.